Are you good at building habits yourself, or was this a learned skill? Like, what made this stick for you as something you wanted to focus on?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I do think this is something like people kind of assume a lot. They're like, well, if he wrote a book on habits, then he must have all his habits dialed in.
Mm,
And that's definitely not the case. When I was working on the book, I was joking with my publisher. I was saying, it's kind of ironic how much writing this book has wrecked like a lot of my personal habits otherwise
mm,
to like get it done. And she said, we write the books we need. And I definitely feel that at a deep level. I mean, I was interested in the topic because I needed it, because I, was hoping to learn how to do it myself. And
mm,
I think in that way, I have always viewed myself and my readers and my audience we're peers. I mean, we're all going through it together. And the only difference is I am writing about some of the things as I'm trying them, but we're all trying it out and trying to figure out what works for us and what doesn't. So in that sense, Atomic Habits was like really rooted in personal experience.
mm,
There's a lot of science and a lot of research as well, but ultimately it's grounded in like practical application and practical experience, and that's because I was trying a lot of these things out, and in many cases struggling and failing with it. I To answer your question directly, am I good at it or not? I think I'm good at it in some areas, and then I'm not good at it in others. So,
mm,
like, for some reason, fitness is one that has always clicked with me. I really enjoy it. I really like it. I've had a strength training habit for, I don't know, probably going on 15 years now. I was an athlete in college before that. So maybe that sort of exposure to strength training through being an athlete, maybe that gave me like an easy entry point. But that's one that's always like clicked well with me. And then there are other ones like nutrition, for example, is one that I've like notoriously struggled with for many years. Really hasn't been until like the last year or so that I feel like I've actually been more in control of my nutrition than I was before.
mm.
And part of that was hiring a coach and like working with them on a diet plan and stuff. So like a little more maybe intensive than what I had done before. But yeah, so it really depends on the area.
Yeah.
Like sleep habits, I've always been pretty good at that. Reading is off or on for me. One thing that's really helped a lot recently has been becoming a writer over the last like 5 or 6 years. I have to read a lot now
Mm,
because it's part of my job, so to speak. So some of them I need more encouragement with than others.
sure. What's your downfall with food? What gets you?
Um, Well, in terms of foods that I love, like, I'm a pretty wide-ranging eater, so anytime something is available, like, it's, like,
Yeah,
very easy to convince me to do it. I
sure.
also, I like the fun experience of eating food or sharing a
Yep,
meal with people, so I can be, like, an enabler in that sense where
for
it's
sure,
like,
yeah.
"Should we eat healthy tonight?" Or, like, "Should we get Indian and, like, have tikka masala and have a great time?" And, I am definitely, like, much more on the social side of the food
Yeah,
experience, and I think that can cause, like, you to, get off track or whatever.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the thing that changed it all for me over the last year is tracking my meals. And um, for the better part of a decade, that just sounded like a huge pain, and
Mm.
had zero interest in doing it. I think I actually did like 5 or 6 years ago. I downloaded MyFitnessPal and I I tracked one meal. Like I didn't even do it for one day. I did it for one meal, and I
Right.
was like, "This is
This sucks.
incredibly annoying. I'm not going to do this." And so,
Right.
um, yeah, but for some reason now I do it in a spreadsheet, and I have this coach that I like trade
Mm,
emails with each week, and those two things together, I don't know, for some reason this time it just clicked.
it clicked.
Maybe who knows? Maybe it's also a different time in my life. Maybe I'm like more uh, ready for that, or that behavior is more agreeable at this stage. But
Yeah,
whatever it is, this time it worked.
for sure. I really resonate with where you're coming from. I tend to call myself a garbage disposal. I kinda just eat whatever's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely resonate with that.